Good morning, Unity.
Good morning.
Not everybody's going to hear this, but thank you to everyone who made yesterday happen. It was just a wonderful day. Thank you very much. I do have an agreement with Lauren that at least every Sunday morning she will be in here. So she's here now. Here we go. So happy and grateful for this wonderful day. My past is behind me and there it will stay. Oh, the light shines upon me and the darkness is gone. I'm so happy and grateful to greet the new dawn. I'm so happy and grateful for this life that I love. With my friends all around me, I'm taken care of. I've had good times and bad ones, I'm blessed by them all. I'm so happy and grateful to have answered the call. I'm so happy and grateful for all my success. I got riches aplenty and true happiness. If I think about something that shows up for me, I'm so happy and grateful for all that I see. I'm so happy and grateful for blessings received, for the love that inspires and makes me believe. All the gifts I was born with, I get to impart. I'm so happy and grateful for the love in my heart. All the gifts I was born with, I get to impart. I'm so happy and grateful for the love in my heart.
Good morning, everyone, on this rainy Sunday. Do you feel cozy? I feel like we should just get together and just kind of create a little huddle because it's cold and rainy and it's a wonderful day to be in community. So, yesterday this room was filled with almost 200 people to honor the light and life and legacy of Lauren Goldstein. So I still feel the energy, and it was so precious and beautiful. So we welcome everyone who are tuning in via YouTube this morning. And so let's just take a deep breath and begin our time together in the activity of prayer. So we take a deep breath and we allow that breath to inform our body and our mind that this is our time to be intentional about being in community and opening our heart to its blessings. So let's send a silent intention to our spirits this morning that, okay, we're here this morning to be blessed. I am here this morning to be blessed and uplifted by every interaction, every hug, every handshake, every word. So thank you for being here this morning. This experience would not be the same without you. So we just feel gratitude for this room, this time, and each other. And so it is. Amen. So if there's anyone here for the first time, if you will raise your hand, just keep your hand raised and one of our ushers will come and bring you a welcome packet. And if you fill out that little card on the top of the welcome packet and slip it in the offering bag, we'll add your email address so that you can receive our Friday afternoon online newsletter. All right, well, let's stand and sing a congregational song together.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of love on earth. And who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of love on earth. And who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. in the hands. I am the voice of love on earth. And all I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. It's a blessing to the world. It's a blessing to the world.
Please be seated.
Thank you, music team. Good morning, everybody. I'm Brett Savage. And I am pleased to share this week's transformational opportunities, which are detailed fully in our community newsletter, our weekly community newsletter. And you can receive next week's edition by sharing your email with us. So we ask before continuing that you take time to silence or power down your cell phones. And we have two big items to share with you today. And the first, let's start with a question. Have you placed your bids yet? Oh, you have? Wonderful. We're talking about our 2019 Big Spring Prosperity Fling, and we're going to have Carol Plummer come up and tell you more about this.
All right. Well, he asked the key question. So the only thing I want to share is remind you, 8 p.m. tonight, it closes down. So get in there and get your bids, and you might want to check.
Tomorrow? 8 p.m. tomorrow.
No, today. Today, Sunday, May 5th.
I better recheck what I put in there.
I'm pretty sure it's May 5th. So, but you can double check. So anyway, tonight at 8 p.m., if it's not, we'll change it. So it will be 8 p.m. tonight. And I just want to tell you, we had some items that had no bids yet, and so we reduced the price on those. So go in and check to see if you can find something that had a price that you said, I don't want to pay that much, but I will pay that much. So go get online and don't be afraid to outbid somebody. Thanks.
Or I'm kidding.
Yeah. I had my heart broken the first year on that last day of bidding. I'm sitting there thinking I'm going to get something, and somebody came and swooped in. I don't know who it was. Oh, it was the Hamilton. It was the Hamilton tickets. Yeah, but I did push up the price. I did my job. I pushed up the price. Yeah. So, hey, it looks like a good day to stay in your house and bid on the auction. You came out here, but it's going to rain the rest of the day. You don't have to work out in the yard or in the front of the house. Go inside and bid. Bid. Jane, bid. So thanks for supporting this wonderful event. And it will be a blessing of prosperity to all who participate. So thank you. The second big item, our annual Spiritual Education and Enrichment Week. SEE, which is happening June 2nd through the 7th on this beautiful campus, which was made even more beautiful by the work of hands, I guess, last weekend, right? Keith and Carrie. Keith and Carrie, who's not here. Very beautiful. And it really shined yesterday, I thought. It was beautiful. People were just enjoying the campus all throughout. It was kind of interesting how we had a violin class, I think, that was here. And just Edie and I were outside dealing with parking as one group was leaving and the other group was coming in. It was kind of exciting. It was humid, but it was very exciting to see all the vibrant energy here on the campus. So back to SEE. Our theme this year is Shifting the Paradigm, Awakening to Our True Nature. So we have a fantastic program in store with an array of classes that include the Bible, metaphysics, discerning your life purpose, self-awareness, and more. Our faculty is Reverend Paul Hasselbeck and Reverend Robert Brummett from Kansas City, Reverend Russ Highland, Reverend Sandy Butler, and licensed Unity teacher Jane McCarthy. We have fun extracurricular activities planned as well, and if you want to deepen and grow spiritually, please join us for this amazing week of learning, connection, and transformation Classes are $80 each, and you can register today between after you bid and before you bid again. UnityofGaithersburg.org. Bid. So now please center yourselves as we reflect together on today's daily word, which is not bid. Our daily word is vision. Our affirmation: I am divinely inspired to pursue my vision for the world. When the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke the words, "I have a dream," he opened a dialogue encouraging us to live in harmony with one another. His dream was a powerful one, and he followed that vision with dedication and faith. For our vision of peace and harmony to be the reality of the world, there must be action taken. We cannot hope that the universe alone will transpire to bring it about. We must see it done and then act, pursue, and live in faith-filled awareness. We are dedicated and purposeful toward unfolding this vision. When we look within and follow our divine wisdom, we stay inspired and know that our next steps will lead us to the people, places, and circumstances that will move the desires of our hearts forward. And we say, we do what is ours to do. And from James 1:25, but those who look into the law of liberty and persevere, being not hearers who forget, but doers who act, they will be blessed in their doing. And now let us prepare for meditation by singing All Is Well.
As I close my eyes and the world disappears, I can feel my breath rise and fall. There's a light inside that dispels all my fears, and I hear a gentle voice calling. All is well. All is well. All is well. All is well.
So once again, let us take a deep breath. And take 2 or 3 more deep breaths to support your body and fully sinking into the chair beneath you, lowering your shoulders and just relaxing into this present moment. And like we do each week, let's just begin our meditation time by following the movement of the breath, moving in and moving out. As following the breath is a way for us to shift our focus from the external concerns and any busy thoughts. And as you follow the breath, begin to breathe into your heart space, the wellspring of love that lives within you, and just breathe into that space. And just get in touch with the love in your heart. And from that space of love, I invite you in this time of stillness to bring to your mind's eye a vision that you have for our world. What is your vision for our world? Is it a world that works for all? A world of peace? A world of love and acceptance of everyone? A world with clean air and clean water, animals safe and loved, children safe and loved in their schools and in their homes. What is your vision for our world? And begin to breathe that vision into the energy of your heart space and hold it there. Hold your vision for our world in your heart of love. And notice the capacity you have to hold that large vision in your heart. You, one person on this planet, holding a vision for our world in the love of your heart. And as you breathe that vision into your heart, just see it radiating out from your heart space. See that energy filling this room. See that energy moving beyond these walls, out into our world. You and you alone have the capacity to hold this beautiful vision for our planet. And as we each hold our own unique version of our planet that works for all, we can move forward step by step into its unfolding through simply holding it in our hearts of love. So as we move now into a time of silence, I invite you to continue to hold that vision in your heart. See it radiating out in the silence. From our ability to hold this vision in our hearts, we make space for discernment and what is ours to do, to be in action to unfold it. Each of us in our own unique ways contribute to co-creating a world that works for all. As we hold it, we can live it. And for this ability, for the love that we are and the wisdom that informs our choices and our actions, how grateful we are. So let's just take a deep breath together. And so it is. Amen.
Brother, there's too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. War is not the answer, for love can only conquer hate. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines and picket signs don't punish me with brutality. So talk to me so you can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. they to judge us simply because our hair is long? You know we got to find a way to bring understanding here today. Oh, picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. So talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? Tell me now what's going on. What's going on?
Wow. Thank you. I know I say it every week. We are so blessed. Well, you know, most people don't know that back in 1912, Hellmann's mayonnaise was manufactured in England. And in fact, the Titanic was carrying 12,000 jars of the condiment scheduled for delivery in Veracruz, Mexico, which was to be the next port of call for the great ship after its stop in New York. And this would have been the largest single shipment of mayonnaise ever delivered to Mexico. I know you know where this is going. But as we know, the great ship did not make it to New York. The ship hit an iceberg and sank, and the cargo was forever lost. The country of Mexico was said to have been crazy about mayonnaise at the time and had been eagerly awaiting its delivery, very upset at the loss. This upset was so great that a national day of mourning was declared, which is still observed to this day. The National Day of Mourning occurs every year on May 5th and is known, of course, as Cinco de Mayo. Do you know how long I have wanted to tell that joke? I waited for May 5th on a Sunday. Yay. Happy Cinco de Mayo! Well, as you heard earlier, this space yesterday was filled to overflowing. About 200 people here to celebrate the life of Lauren Goldstein, who passed on March 12th. And for those of you who were not here or did not know Lauren was a member of Unity of Gaithersburg since 1992. And over the years, she was a constant presence of love and joy here. She regularly attended Sunday services sitting right back there where David is, pretty much. And serving on the greeter usher team as the lead for the last 6 years. And it was a joy to behold the ways people spoke of her, the music that celebrated her, and the love that flowed at the very mention of her name. And to me, this is a testament of a life well lived, to a life that impacted many for the better. And Lauren was a light in this world, and she shined that light brightly, uplifting souls. And someone said to me yesterday as we were over in the reception, because we had this potluck reception where there was tables and tables and tables of food. It was so beautiful. Someone said to me at the reception that they hoped their life would be as impactful as Lauren's, that it too would be celebrated for how much light they were able to shine to make people's lives sweeter, their burdens lighter, and their hearts uplifted. So life, it seems that there's so many challenges to our lives these days that can hinder our expression of light and joy. You know, as the world around us seems a little bit dark sometimes, and conflict and filled with the belief that we're separate from another. And so I'm going to share with you how that came into my sphere this week, and I hope I can do it. I have Kleenex here. So last week, thank you, Edie, for being here to share the message last week. As I was in Charlotte, many of you know that my mom passed in November, and so I was busy in Charlotte handling details of my mother's estate. And so my best friend, my BFF, lives in Winston-Salem, and so she came down to be support for me, and her mom lives there, and her son attends UNCC, University of North Carolina at Charlotte there. And so over the weekend, we talked about going out to see Merritt at UNCC to take a tour because that's my alma mater. I graduated in 1983. And apparently the campus has completely transformed, and he just says, you'd be blown away at how amazing it is now. So we thought we'd get together and do this tour, but Merritt was swamped because it was finals week, and he's in construction management, and so he had this project to do, and he had all these exams to study for. And so we said, well, we'll just, we'll do the tour another time. However, we still wanted to see each other, so he invited us out. He works a couple jobs to support himself in school, and he gives out cheer wine samples at festivals. Okay, cheer wine is a beverage bottled in North Carolina. It's awesome, and it's non-alcoholic, and it's really yummy. And so he goes around, and so we met him at the International Sandwich Festival, where he was giving out samples for cheer wine. And we did this, and we exchanged our hugs, and and I love this guy. He calls me Aunt Cheryl. Here I go. So you know where this is going. I know you know. His brother Hunter called me Aunt Cheryl. They're precious souls, and they really appreciate the friendship that their mom and I have shared since we were 12 years old. But this past Tuesday, I get this frantic call from Blair that there was an active shooter on the campus of UNCC. And she tried to get Merritt by phone, and he wasn't answering. And Merritt is a young man in his 20s that is not attached to his phone. He's not. What he's attached to is his skateboard. So when he's not studying, he is out on the campus, all over the campus, doing flips and jumps and doing all these amazing feats on his skateboard. And so Blair was beside herself, and my heart sunk to my feet. Just went, oh my God, what if Merritt is out, on the campus, on his skateboard, and he confronts this shooter? That's where my mind went. And so, of course, we were very teary, and so we had no way of knowing because Merritt wasn't checking his phone. And all we knew at that point was that 3 people had been shot, and they thought that the police had apprehended the shooter. And finally, Merritt checked his phone and immediately called his mom, and he answered my text. And we breathed relief, and yet what we found out later were 2 students, age 21 and 19, had died, and 4 other students had been taken to the hospital. 2 precious young men had been killed. And one of the young men died trying to apprehend the shooter because there was no place to run or hide. Instructions for students now in schools are run, hide, fight. That's what our children are learning. Run, hide, fight. So if you can't run and you can't hide and there's imminent danger, you do your best to try and fight, apprehend the shooter. And so this one man apprehended, tackled the shooter, and lost his life in the process. And this whole thing just rattled me to my core. Whenever I see parents that are shaken with when their children have been slain, through senseless gun violence, I weep with them. And this time, it came really close. And there's something different about that, and I noticed that in myself. And I had to work with that because I know that all the children of the world are my children. So I noticed I felt a little helpless. I felt all this emotion bubbling up in me. And so I thought, okay, Cheryl, this is your time to go to what you know. And so I went to prayer. I went to holding knowing. And then asked, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? And the thing is, I knew I had to talk about this with you this morning. And when I sat down after the service yesterday and I started writing, I'm like, what am I going to say? And I'm not going to launch into a discussion about common sense gun control laws, although I have some passion around that. I'm not going to do that this morning. But what came to me is that when we hear news like this, there's like this spectrum of response. You know, for some people, maybe it's just denial. I just can't deal with that. You know, maybe we put our heads in the sand, or there's fear, maybe there's tears, there's anger, there's rage, maybe activism. And all of these responses are completely understandable. And I think that when we hear about these kinds of things, that we have to confront our feelings. We have to just allow ourselves to process them and be gentle with wherever we are. And then ask, I just think we have to ask, what is ours to do? And the first thing that came to me, because I was talking about this with my friend Gail, you know, what came to me is that we have to increase our capacity to be able to hold what's happening in our world. You know, it's because if we can't hold it, it can have a crushing impact. It can for some of us, and it has the ability to kind of overwhelm and have us feel powerless. And the thing is, we are not powerless. And the vision I get is some of the, you know, the visions of like Mother Earth holding, you know, Mother Earth actually holding our planet, you know. Because the way that we increase our capacity to hold our world, I believe, is to increase our capacity to love. You know, we have to increase the space we can hold for love, to express. We have to make room. This is the visual I get all the time. You know, it's like hold space. And we have to make room for love, and we make room for whatever's not love. And right now, my 4-year-old goddaughter has decided that it is not hers to do to go to bed. I mean, she does not want to go to bed. And I remember I was like this when I was her age. I did not want to miss a thing. And so how she tends to express now is loudly. She has what we might label a tantrum, you know. And what I notice about her parents, they hold space. They hold space for her to express whatever she's expressing. And, you know, and they support her in loving ways. Yeah, but I thought about that. They just hold space for her. And then a new possibility has room to express itself, to unfold. Because the thing about it is, with toddlers or anything else in our world, if we stay reactive, we stay in that energy that creates the disruption. It's just so, you know, difficult, you know, and especially when I was in this space of not knowing about marriage safety, I just wanted to push against instead of holding. And so it taught me that to ask myself in the midst of what is mine to do is what is mine to know. And what is mine to know is that I'm love, and I have the capacity to hold love in the midst of something that feels very terrifying. And because, folks, and I know we talk about it here at Unity, but I think it's time to really claim and know there is no power greater than love in this world. Nothing is up against it. Nothing is greater than that. And its impact. And again, I was inspired by yesterday, hearing about Lauren Goldstein, hearing about the love, the ripple that she left in the pond of people's lives because of her love. That's how powerful love is. And it had me think of, and I think we've talked about this before, but I wanted to re-presence it, this technique called the Tonglen. It's a Tibetan word that means taking and sending. So because we are love and because we have this capacity to hold our world, we can, when we hear things like I heard this week, when we see somebody on the side of the road, maybe struggling with their car, or someone in our life is hurting, what we can do, because we are love, we can take in that energy. We can breathe it in and then send out a blessing and then send out love. Because the beautiful thing is, because we're love, nothing's going to stick. That's ick. Not when we have that intention, because we're holding. We're holding. And I think we also get to remember that, okay, so this is an interaction, and it is an active way to be involved in what's happening in our world. And I think it's also an opportunity for us to really ask ourselves, what is mine to do to be an active engagement externally in the world? Is there something for me to do? There's a verse in 1 John that says, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. So, what is our inner wisdom calling each of us to do in the midst of this turmoil, external turmoil in our world? I think we get to hold space, remember the Tonglen, and then are there steps that we take? Are there actions that we take? What is your wisdom informing you to do? And I like to call that discernment. When we get in that space and ask, what is ours to do? Meister Eckhart said, what we plant in the soil of contemplation, we shall reap in the harvest of action. Be still and know. So this week, I just invite you to take some time in the silence and reflect, what is mine to do to create a world that works for all? Every person, every animal, our environment, all of it. What is mine to do? What is my unique contribution to make to the world that will bring me joy, passion, and aliveness? Because when you are in that place of joy, passion, and aliveness, you're going to make a difference. And I just invite us, let's set an intention to practice the Tonglen. That we can take in Facebook news, evening news, David Muir, whoever. We can take it all in. We can hold space. And we can breathe out love. Breathe out knowing. Breathe out peace. And there's another conversation that I had yesterday with one of Jim's really old friends. And we were talking about what would it be like if we lived our life celebrating people before they pass. And he shared something meaningful he had learned from an Aboriginal tribal custom of celebrating people on their birthdays by sharing with them how much they mean to you, how grateful you are for them, what it is they are and do and express that you appreciate. What if we made this a practice? Yeah. So just want to plan. It doesn't even have to be a birthday. It can just be, honey, you know what? This is what I appreciate about you. Friend, thank you. So thank you for being with me in this conversation this morning. This was a little bit of a tough one, but I felt like we can do this, folks. We are amazing people, and we know what we are, and we have the capacity to hold love for our planet, regardless of what's showing up. We can do that. We can be that. And we can also be in action, uniquely, in what is ours to do, to co-create a world that works for all. Let's affirm together. I take discerned action to make my unique contribution to a world that works for all. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Cheryl. And now this is our time to give from our unlimited abundance and open hearts. As you prepare to place your tithe or consistent giving card in the offering bag or give online as you join us via YouTube, here is some prosperity wisdom from Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. Divine wisdom will dictate an orderly handling of your financial affairs, but faith will keep you free from worry and fear. And when conditions change, as they always have and always will, you will hold fast to the declaration of the psalmist, though the earth does change, I shall not be moved. Let us now affirm our offering blessing together. Divine love, I am blessed and multiplied, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am so grateful.
1, 2, 3, 4. That you can live by, and so because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And you of tender years can't know the fears that your elders grew by. And so please help them with your youth. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, the children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
So let's stand and sing in our youth.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I've got you, I've got me, I've got us coming together. I've got you. One mind, one love, coming together, coming together. Please be seated.
We made it from the rain. Thank you. So today our lesson was about loving ourselves.
I am patient. I am kind. I am hope. I rejoice in the truth. Oh wait, no. I am everything. I rejoice in the truth that I am love. I am never-ending love.
Please stand and bless our children. Together.
You are the light of the world. Live as the light. Let's join hands and sing our peace song. Beautiful, blessed week, discerning what is mine to do. Bless you.
And if you didn't pick up a kitchen magnet with Lauren's picture on it, they're out in the back. There's plenty of extras.